were just doing an early morning cleanse ready for our makeup, we would now tone the skin and apply our daily moisturiser. But I want to show you how to do a little pick-me-up at the end of the day. And if you're going to do anything to the skin, such as exfoliating the skin or doing a facial mask, then you need to do that before you apply a toner. What the toner does is it removes all traces of our cleanser, and it will also close the pores, and it leaves the skin ready for the moisturiser. Well, we don't want to do that at this stage, because what we want to do, I want to show you how to do some deep cleansing treatments. Whatever you do to the skin, remember, always pander out the eye area, and always be careful not to use exfoliants on the lips. So if you are going to do an exfoliation on your skin, depending on what product you're going to use, I've got just a little bit of an exfoliating gel. And this gel, don't know if you can zoom in and see that, has got very fine crystallized pieces of that. It's actually crushed walnut kernel, but it's very, very finely crushed, so it's slightly scratchy on the skin. Remember, the golden rule when using an exfoliant is that you never use it dry. Think of the ice skater's boot. So you wet your fingers in a little bit of water and apply to the skin. Remember, we avoid the eye area, we avoid the mouth, and I never like to use an exfoliant on my neck. Masks, different. Use a mask on the neck, but I don't like to use an exfoliant on the neck, because it will make the neck quite red. If you're going to exfoliate your skin, never exfoliate your skin before you're going to put makeup on. Always make it a nighttime procedure. So if you're going to work on the exfoliant now, we're going to scrub the skin, and we're going to give the skin a nice pick-me-up or a deep cleanse. Always make sure that you're working with wet hands. So wet your fingers in some water, circular movements. Really get into areas where you get clogged. And again, never allow yourself to get dry. Keep damping your fingers. Using your fingertips, come up your nose. Remember the top of the nose. Around this part of the nose, you always get blackheads and open pores there. Come up the top of the nose, onto the forehead, and circular movements all across the forehead, right into the eyebrow and across. And then wet your fingers again. Never be tempted to allow your skin to get dry. So nice circular movements right up into the hairline. Really work the exfoliant. Remember, what we're actually doing is the skin is formed of various layers, and it's held together by a molecular glue, which is made up of the skin's natural sebum and other waxy products. And the skin exfoliates itself or sheds itself at an uneven level. So if you were to look at the skin under a magnifying glass, it looks like roof tiles. And you'll see that some of the roof tiles are hanging off whilst others are secure. So when we exfoliate, we're actually getting rid of all the loose dead skin cells. We're getting any pollution that might have formed in the skin. But more importantly, what we're doing is we're increasing the blood flow to the skin, and blood carries nutrients, oxygen, nourishing and encouraging healthy skin. So you do this just for a few minutes. And I can actually feel the grittiness of the exfoliant working on my skin. But you should notice that my skin hasn't got red, excessively red, despite the fact that I'm actually scratching it with the exfoliant. And that is largely because I'm using it with wet fingers. If you are a smoker, pay particular attention to the top lip, because you get stainage on the top lip from inhaling the cigarette smoke. I recently have just recovered from skin cancer. I had some very grueling treatment, to say the least, which has left me with scarring. But the good thing, since I've finished the treatment, is that by exfoliating my skin regularly, I'm improving the scar tissue on the side of the face there and on the nose. So after a few minutes, usually 2 or 3 minutes, anything up to 5 minutes maximum, as you keep damping your fingers down, you'll be naturally removing some of the exfoliant. And we're now ready to remove. Never ever be tempted to use an exfoliant that makes your skin go really red. If you do, then you know you're using the wrong product for you. So taking some dampened cotton wool. Some people do use a flannel. And at home, obviously, you use whatever you're comfortable using. Come down the side of the face, turn this pad over, and remove. Brilliant. Now, I want to show you something. I showed you my tissue earlier. I'd cleansed the skin, and I showed you the tissue that I'd rinsed my face with a little bit of water. When I showed you the tissue was genuinely clear, as if my skin was clean. Now I've just exfoliated, as you know, for a few minutes. I've just used a dampened cotton wool, and look what's come off my skin. More traces of makeup, debris, pollution has been clogged inside the pores of my skin. So it just shows how this really works. Feel to make sure that you've got all traces of the exfoliant off. Sometimes around the eyebrow you'll find little traces that are left, but my skin feels pretty clear. So just scissor it round, make sure you've got it all off. Now if this was my routine normally, what I would do is I would now tone and moisturise, but because I want to show you various applications of Pick Me Up, I'm now going to show you how to apply a mask. You wouldn't normally do the two things together. If I'm applying a mask and I'm going to soak and relax in the bath, I would always look after the eye area. Don't use a mask around the eye area, it's too drying. Always use a product that's specifically designed for the eyes. So I always would put a tiny bit of eye cream